And a good morning to everybody as we are live here at the Glenwood School for the 2024 Border Wars here on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Richard Holdridge here on the broadcast. Glad to be back here after a Christmas break. Had to get back here and call some games. We got a fantastic first 4 games here on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. Then we're going to take a break. And then Brandon Schwobel is going to be joining me later at 3:15 for Calvary Christian and Morgan County. And then later tonight, we'll have some more games, including Glenwood and Marion County. We got Chatco and Lee Scott up first. Lee Scott Academy making their debut in the AHSAA. Chatco ends up winning the tip. Looks like here's your starters for Chattahoochee County. Out of Casita, Michaela Clark, Kamei Jackson, Letitia Wright, Kamaya Brown. Lee Scott with the ball. And in the hands of a familiar face that we saw last year, Clark Yvonne, who is a freshman now. She had an impact as an 8th grader. Got to see Lee Scott Academy 5 times last year as they took on Glenwood in the Border Wars. 2 times in the regular season, the region championship, and in the AISA championship in Montgomery, as that shot is made by Kamei Jackson for Chatco, and they have the early 2-0 lead. Lee Scott just swinging it around. There's Yvonne, 3-pointer. Off the mark. Stolen by Lee Scott. Good rebound by number 4, Kamaya Brown. Here comes Chatco. And we got a whistle. So your starters for Lee Scott, Clark Yvonne, the freshman, Haynes Kesey, Sydney Dunlap, Lucy Zellner, and Camden Cleveland. Ball will go back to Chatco. And right off the inbounds, what a shot by Michaela Clark. And quickly, Chatco, Lady Panthers, lead 4-0. As this is the first game of 10 today for the Border Wars. We will be live streaming 7 of the 10 games. And that was a nice steal by Letitia Wright, but Lee Scott ends up getting it back. Here come the Lady Warriors. Yvonne, no. Off the glass, no good. That's going to be rebounded once again by Michaela Clark. Fast break. All alone was Kamei Jackson. She tracks down. 3-pointer off the glass, no good by Clark. That's going to stay right here with Chatco. So the Lady Panthers, with 22-8 last year, lost in the quarterfinals to Clinch County. They are led by their head coach, Sean Glenn. No good. Nice rebound by Wright. She got it stolen. Here comes Clark Yvonne. Yvonne, pass. It's going to stay right here with Lee Scott. So Lee Scott Academy, they went all the way to the AISA championship where they lost to Glenwood. That playing a team 5 times, I mean, it's hard to beat a team twice, but they saw Glenwood 5 times last year, and that championship game was a lot closer. Glenwood did pull away, but the most outstanding player was the 8th grader, Clark Yvonne, and the fact that she's back as a freshman, she is going to make an impact. This season, Lee Scott's first year in the AHSAA. Chatco with the ball. Slicing and dicing in the lane is Kamaya Brown, and it's early on 7-0 lead for Chatco. Coming up next, we got the Chatco boys taking on the Lee Scott Academy boys. Defending AISA champions are going to be in action against Chatco out of the GHSA Class 1A Division II. Into the line is going to be Riley Fields for Lee Scott, and she makes the first. With 5:14 left to go here in the first quarter. Early on here at the Border Wars, Riley Scott makes them both. Right. Quarter three. No good. Batted out, and it's going to stay right here with the Lady Panthers. Also on this broadcast, we'll have Valley and Deerfield-Windsor. That's going to be the two games after Lee Scott Chatco. Nice save, but looking like Lee Scott coming up with the ball here. Here they come on a fast break. Shot up and good by Clark Yvette. First 2 points of the game for her, and it's now 7-4. Chatco on top. Almost got the steal there. Chatco off to a slow start this year. 2-8 record. You know, they get ready for region play. They have got a massive game next Saturday against Central Talbotton. Sign me up for that one. That's going to be an incredible game between two region rivals just outside the Columbus area. And Casitas about 10 minutes down the road from Columbus. It's closer to Fort Moore in Chattahoochee County. I know back in the day they used to have the tri-counties. They combined Marion County, Schley County, and Chatco. Had a buddy of mine that actually went to tri-counties. Took a visit to Chatco this year. Got to run into the coaches. They are getting ready to play Brookstone. Excited to have them here in the Border Wars. That shot is no good. That's going to be rebounded by Kamaya Brown, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the floor as Chatco leads Lee Scott 7-4 as you're watching the 2024 Border Wars, and it's hosted by Glenwood. We'll be back after this.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
And welcome back here to the Border Wars. Chatco with the ball up by 3. That's going to be a foul on Lee Scott. Actually, that's a foul on Chatco. It's going to be Lee Scott ball. It inbounds in. It's going to be Camden Cleveland. Cleveland. Top of the key. Good ball movement. Yvette. Pass in the corner. Remember, no shot clock in Alabama. This is something that Chatco's going to have to get used to. Playing with the shot clock, and now they don't play with the shot clock. So, but that's going to be a foul on Chatco. And going to the line will be Camden Cleveland. Trying to cut into this Lady Panthers lead. Cleveland makes the first. And Cleveland makes them both. Chatco with the ball. And it's out of bounds. So Lee Scott is led by their head coach, Corey Harrison. He's been with Lee Scott for a while. He had a different last name, was known as Yvonne last year. You know, got to know the Lee Scott girls after calling 5 games last year, including the championship game in the Border Wars against Glenwood last year. Beecher, or that's going to be Sydney Dunlap checking in the game. Long three-pointer off the back of the iron by Kesey. Lee Scott gets the ball back, and they're just fighting for it, and that's going to be our first jump ball of the game. Chaco with an early 7-6 lead over Lee Scott Academy. Lee Scott playing in their first year in the AHSAA. They have a 8-8 record. We'll see them back in this gymnasium again when they play Glenwood. Oh, driving the lane is Clark Yvonne. Fields, back out, three-pointer, and it rattles in. Haynes Kesey and Lee Scott with the 2-point lead. Stolen by Yvonne. Spin move, pass. Trying to get his Dunlap. Yvonne, nice pass in the middle of the lane. And that is to Camden Cleveland, a 5-0 run for Lee Scott. Here comes Chaco, right. Does not have the numbers. Chaco gets it right back, and that's going to be a steal and all the way up and in for Camden Cleveland. Lee Scott with the full court press. Chaco's just going to have to get rid of the ball, and they do. Pass inside, and that's going to be stolen by Lee Scott once again. Cleveland, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Kesey. Yvonne, pass a little too high for Camden Cleveland, and it's going to go back to the Lady Panthers. And Coach Glenn and Coach Harrison going to get some subs in. As we appreciate you joining us this Friday morning for the Border Wars. We'll be here for the next 2 days. As that foul is off Lee Scott. Kamaya Brown is going to go to the line for 2. With 1:11 left to go. And she misses the first. And she misses them both. That's going to be rebounded by Lucy Zellner. Here comes Lee Scott. Yvonne, top of the key. Kesey, back to Yvonne. Kesey, top of the key, gets it stolen. Here comes a fast break for Chaco, all alone, and up and in for Kamaya Brown. Chaco really needed that basket. Less than a minute to go here in the first. Shot rattles in. A good job by Lee Scott getting the bucket. It's now 15-9. They answer back. There's a pass right in the corner. Stolen by Kesey. Here comes Lee Scott on a fast break. Kesey, Yvonne, wide open, three-pointer, and it's good by the freshman, Clark Yvonne. Good pass by Kesey. Largest lead of the game for Lee Scott. 2-1. Shot will not count. Lee Scott closes out the first quarter, leading Chaco 18-9, as we'll be back here as you're watching the 2024 Border Wars hosted by Glenwood here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Georgia.
Welcome back here to Glenwood. Start of the second quarter here for the Border Wars. We got the Lee Scott boys taking on the Chaco boys coming up next. And after that, we got the Valley girls and the Deerfield-Windsor girls. And then the Valley boys and the Deerfield-Windsor boys. That is all coming up here. We'll broadcast the first 4 games of the Border Wars, and then we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll get ready for Calvary Christian and Morgan County. And we might throw in some surprise games in there too, but we will be live streaming the Glenwood-Marion County games later tonight. And then we've got a fantastic action of games tomorrow here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. You'll catch all of them here. Kamaya Brown, the sophomore, going to the line for Chaco. And the back of the iron, no good. And she makes 1 of 2. Yvette at the logo. Trying to drive the lane. Quickly puts it. Oh, it missed. It was a good, strong layup attempt, but just couldn't finish. That was good defense by Chaco. Lady Panthers with the ball. Driving the lane, putting up a shot, but that's going to be a foul on Lee Scott, and going to the line is going to be Micaiah Clark. And she misses. And it rattles in and out, no good. And Lee Scott with the rebound. Clark Yvette. Top of the key, spin move. Yvette passes in the lane. Putting up a shot is Cleveland. Out of bounds. Going to stay right here with Lee Scott. As Kesey going to check into the game for the Lady Warriors. Pass over to Zellner. Almost got it stolen. Yeah, I think she does get it stolen. Here come the Lady Panthers on a fast break. Thought about the 3. Back over to Clark. Clark's going to take it to the top of the key. Swings it over to Brown, right side. Top of the key for Jackson. No shot clock in Alabama. Jackson with a spin move, lost it. These Georgia teams are going to have to change up their strategy with no shot clock. Cleveland with a miss. Zellner with a miss. Kesey with a wide open jumper. at that corner key, sweet spot. And Lee Scott with a 10-point lead. 3-point attempt is off the mark by Jackson. And here comes Lee Scott once again trying to extend this lead. Nice pass over to Zellner. Zellner gets fouled, and she's going to go to the line for 2. Lee Scott, their first year in the AHSAA, currently with an 8-8 record. Their area is going to consist of Dadeville, Beulah, and Glenwood, playing in 3A. And Zellner makes 1 of 2. Oh, and what a steal. That was a steal by Kesey. Could not capitalize, and Chaco with the ball. And that is a 3-pointer by Letitia Wright. Actually, they're going to say her foot was on the line. That was a 2. Yvette, spin move. Trying to split the defenders and is going to draw the foul. But it's going to be a non-shooting foul. The refs are saying that it wasn't a motion to the basket to try to get a shot off. Nice pass to Cleveland. Cleveland misses it. Rebounded by Chaco. Here come the Lady Panthers. Puts up a shot, and it goes in. A good job by number 5, Tatiana Beecher. It is 21-14, Lee Scott. With the early lead here in the second. Nice pass inside to Riley Fields. Misses it, gets her own rebound, and puts up the shot. And it's back to a 9-point lead for Lee Scott. Good ball movement. 3-point attempts off the mark by Letitia Wright. That's going to be rebounded by Dunlap. Dunlap takes it across the timeline over to Clark Yvette, the freshman. Spin move. Yvette trying to drive the lane. Nice pass to Riley Fields. Misses it. And it's going to be rebounded by Michaela Clark. Stolen by Yvette. And she gets the bucket and 1. She will go to the line for the 3-point play. Don't forget, we got the Lee Scott boys and the Chaco boys coming up next. Lee Scott, 16-1 on the season, having a fantastic year. The defending AISA champions taking on a Chaco team that right now 5-5 on the season as Yvette misses it. Here come the Lady Panthers. And a nice steal by Dunlap, but we're going to get another jump ball with 3:57 left to go here in the second. As this broadcast is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, CVCC, Pepsi, Zaxby's, Columbus State University, State Farm Carroll Purdue, Master Wall Incorporated. We appreciate all of our sponsors. We're going to go ahead and live stream the first 4 games here in the start of the Border Wars. We'll take a little break, and then we'll have Calvary Morgan County. Little floater off the mark. Good offensive rebound by Chaco. Top of the key, 3-point shot is good by Michaela Clark, but we have a player down. Right now, we are going to go ahead and take a break as you're watching the Border Wars here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back here to the Border Wars. Clarky Vaught puts up a shot. No good. Riley Fields with the shot attempt. No good. And a good rebound by Michaela Clark. And here comes Chaco on a fast break. Clark, pull-up jumper. No good. That's going to be rebounded by Camden Cleveland. Over to Yvonne. Yvonne, top of the key. Being guarded by Wright. Back over to Camden Cleveland. Looking for the screen. Spin move. Pass to Fields. Fields inside. Pull up with a shot. Gets her own rebound. Back over to Yvonne. Yvonne puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Camden Cleveland, and she is going to be fouled. As with 2:48 left to go here in the second, Lee Scott with an 8-point lead. Camden Cleveland is going to go to the line for two. And she makes the first. Chaco led by their head coach, Sean Glenn. Chattahoochee County out of Casita, just about 10 miles south of Columbus. Misses the second, but we got another jump ball. Good effort on the rebound by Erica Tassi for the Lady Panthers. But the possession arrow is going to stay right here with Lee Scott. Lee Scott led by their head coach, Corey Harrison, the former Corey Yvonne. We remember her as Yvonne, Clark Yvonne's parent, who's been with Lee Scott for a while. We got to see Lee Scott 5 times last year, so very familiar with the program. Nice putback by Camden Cleveland. And that puts Lee Scott's lead at 11. Oh, and it's stolen by Kesey. What a steal. Good anticipation. Yvonne. Long three-pointer. No good. Attempt by Maggie Herndon. We're going to get a foul away from the basket. It's going to stay. Actually, it's going to go back to Chaco. With 2:17 left to go here in the second quarter. Three-pointer, no good. That was Tassi. Here comes Yvonne, the freshman, leading scorer for Lee Scott. Yvonne splits the defenders. Oh, a good hustle by Herndon. Back out to Cleveland. Cleveland, top of the key. Has got room. Bounce pass to Kesey. Almost stolen by Wright. Back out, Cleveland. Long three-pointer is good. And Lee Scott Academy has the largest lead of the game. And we're going to get a foul on Lee Scott. With 1:31 left to go until the half. Lee Scott leads Chaco 31-17 as this is the first game of the Border Wars. For the next two days, we'll have teams from Georgia and teams from Alabama facing off against each other. Nice pass, Yvonne to Cam Cleveland. Good court awareness, good vision by Clark Yvonne. Lee Scott with a 33-17 lead. And that is just off the mark, and it's going to go back to the Lady Warriors. We will see Chaco again tomorrow as they will take on the Lady Gators in the second day of the Border Wars. That's a nice pass, but just couldn't handle it. It goes out of play, and it's going to go back to the Lady Panthers. As we talked about in the pregame, Chaco, we'll probably see them again on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. They've got a massive region game next week against Central Talbotton. I was talking to both coaches, and I know that's one of those games that they are penciling in on the schedule. Huge rivalry. Chaco went 22-8 last year, lost in the quarterfinals to Clinch County in the GHSA Class 1A Division II playoffs. Off to a slow start this year. They're 2-8, but they've played a tough schedule. They've played Columbus, they've played Brookstone, they've played Shaw. Brown, and she gets fouled. With 44 seconds left to go until the half. And going to the line is going to be the sophomore, Kamaya Brown, and she misses the first. And Brown misses them both. Rebounded by Cleveland. Lee Scott can hold for the final shot. There's no shot clock in Alabama. Over to Vaught. And they're fighting for it, and that's going to be stolen by Wright. But Lee Scott gets on it for a jump ball. That was a good hustle play by Camden Cleveland, because it looked like it was going to be a sure steal by Wright in a fast break all the way to the basket. We got 27 seconds left to go here until the half. Over to Wright. In the corner to Clark. Inside, and there's a block, but they're going to call a foul on Lucy Zellner. So Coach Harrison's got a young Lee Scott team, a team that went to the AISA championship game, lost to Glenwood. But she's got a mixture of freshmen and sophomores and an eighth grader. The lone senior on this team was actually, she's got two seniors, Camden Cleveland and Riley Fields. But the leading scorer is Clark Yvette, averaging 15 points a game. As Brown makes one of two. Here comes Yvette. Slice in the lane and off the glass and in. No hesitation there. Split the defenders. Let's see if Chaco can get a shot off. Puts up a floater and gets fouled. That was a good shot by Kamaya Brown to draw the foul with 3 seconds left. And Kamaya Brown is going to go to the line for two. And she misses. And she makes one of two. Yvette, 2 seconds at the logo. Yvette puts up a shot off the glass and in! What a shot by Clark Yvette right at the buzzer. And we're going to the locker room as Lee Scott Academy leads 38-19 over Chaco as you're watching the first game of the 2024 Border Wars here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Welcome back here to Glenwood. Start of the second half of the first game of the 2024 Border Wars between Lee Scott Academy and Chattahoochee County. What a fantastic way to end that first half. Clark Yvott with a pull-up three at the buzzer. And Lee Scott leading 38-19. It will be Lee Scott's ball. And that was a steal by Letitia Wright, but her foot was on the line. And we'll try it again. Got a collision. We'll go ahead and start it again. It's going to be a foul on Lee Scott. Chaco with the ball. And another foul on Lee Scott. This will be a shooting foul, and going to the line is going to be the leading scorer so far on the season, Kamaya Brown, who is only a sophomore. And Brown makes the first. And Kesey's going to take a seat on the bench, being in foul trouble. Brown misses one of two, and here comes Lee Scott. Yvott across the timeline, guarded by Wright. Yvott trying to split the defenders. Open lane, Yvott puts up a shot, no good, but a good rebound by Lucy Zellner to clean the glass, and it's a 20-point lead for the Lady Warriors. There's a three-point attempt, no good by Tassie, and that's going to be out of bounds. And Lee Scott with the basketball. Yvott has got open lane over to Cleveland, back out to Zellner. And Zellner's going to go to the line for two. Zellner misses. We have not seen the leading rebounder for Chaco, Destiny Dent. It looks like that she might be injured. Cleveland. Going to go ahead and inbounds it to the freshman and leading scorer for Lee Scott, Clark Yvott. Yvott, open lane, nice pass right to Lucy Zellner. Yvott seeing the court beautifully with that pass. He's got a couple assists in this game. What a good move by Kamaya Brown, the sophomore. And is now 43-22. Yvott looking for the screen. Yvott, and there's no stopping Clark Yvott. She's just going right through the teeth of the defense. And another steal. Cam Cleveland, no good. And that was out of bounds off Chaco. We got some subs coming in. Tatiana Beecher, the freshman, coming in for the Lady Panthers. Yvott looking over for her teammate, Herndon. Back out to Cleveland. Cam Cleveland trying to split 3 defenders going into the lane and takes a fall, but she's okay. Right back up. That's going to be a foul on Chaco, and then only the second team foul. Another pass right to Maggie Herndon, and she draws the foul. Right place, right time. Correction. That is Lucy Zellner. And Zellner misses. Misses both. Rebounded by Clark. Clark takes it across the timeline. Spin move. Clark puts up a shot off the mark, and that's going to be rebounded by Zellner. Or Hernan. I keep getting them mixed up. Yvonne trying to get by the defender. There's Maggie Herndon for a 3. No good. And that goes right to Tassie, and she draws the foul. So Erica Jassy is going to go to the line for 2. I was told that this is an 8th grader, not on the original roster. Went ahead and added her pre-game. She misses both. Rebounded by Dunlap. Dunlap passes it over to Maggie Herndon for 3. No good. Here comes the Lady Panthers on a fast break. Puts up a shot, and it goes in for Kamaya Brown, who averages 11 points a game, the leading scorer for the Lady Panthers. Herndon driving the baseline, pull-up jumper, no good. Fighting for it. And they avoid the jump ball. There's a 3-pointer off the mark. Rebounded by Brown. And we're going to get a foul on Chaco. Clark Yvonne across the timeline. 3 from the corner. Herndon. No good. That's going to be rebounded by Brown. Splitting the defenders, no good by Clark. And coming up with that rebound is Sutton Lewis, who is an 8th grader. That shot is no good by Sydney Dunlap, and here comes Chaco once again. We've had a little bit of a scoring drought from both teams, as Brown puts up a shot, no good. Here comes Yvonne. Dunlap, wide open, no good by Zellner. And we got a player down. We're going to go ahead and step aside here with 3:25 left to go here in the third quarter. Lee Scott leads Chaco 45-24. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the ambassador scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
Chaco with the ball, down 45-24 here in the third quarter. As you're watching the first game here on the Border Wars, day one on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Clark puts up a shot. What a three-pointer by the senior, Michaela Clark. It's now an 18-point lead for Lee Scott. There's Yvette. Herndon. Inside to Lewis. Lewis gets her own rebound, though. That's going to be no good. Clark with the rebound. This Chaco team will face Glenwood tomorrow. The second to last game to finish the Border Wars. Noah Shelton will be on the call. Turned in for three, rattles in and out. And just tipping it right to Beecher. And trying to pull down that rebound is Clark Yvette, and then a quick foul. That foul's going to be on Lee Scott. Top of the key to Beecher. Spin move, stolen. Clark Yvette going coast to coast. And she traveled. All that momentum carrying her to the basket, but good job defending as Chatko forcing the turnover. Clark splits the defenders and puts up a floater. Good shot by Michaela Clark. It's now 45-29. And Lee Scott's been doing this without Haynes Kesey, who got in a little bit of foul trouble. Cam Cleveland getting ready to check into the game. Coach Harrison going to some subs. As Cam Cleveland comes back into the game for Lee Scott. Oh, that's going to be a turnover on Lee Scott. Here come the Lady Panthers. Brown puts up a shot, no good. Here comes Clark Yvette. Yeah, it's going to be a turnover as Michaela Clark controls it. Here's Brown. Putting up a shot, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Cam Cleveland. And here comes Lee Scott on a fast break. Cleveland, nice bounce pass to Sutton. Cleveland trying to go for the rebound. We got some subs coming in. Stella Henderson, the freshman, coming in. As Lee Scott will take on Terrell Academy out of Dawson, Georgia tomorrow in day 2 of the Border Wars. There's a three-point attempt by Kamei Jackson that goes to the back of the cylinder, and it's going to go back to Lee Scott. Coming back into the game is Tatiana Beecher for Coach Glenn's bunch. And we talked about the region that Chaco is in. I mean, Taylor County went to the Final Four. Central Talbotton went to the state championship back in 2020. They got a tough region. Marion County, Schley County, and now Crawford County with the new reclassification. Yvonne, oh, what a shot by Clark Yvonne. Slicing the defense once again. Chaco trying to get a shot off. Puts it up. Oh, and it is no good. As time expires here in the third quarter. We've played 3 here in the first game of the Border Wars. Lee Scott Academy leading Chatco 47-29. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile. We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Start of the fourth quarter here in the first game of the Border Wars. Chattahoochee County with the ball. Leading scorer, Kamaya Brown. Trying to split the defenders. Puts up a shot, no good. Gets her own rebound and draws the foul. Kamaya Brown, only a sophomore, averaging 11 points a game for Coach Glenn and the Chaco Lady Panthers. Who off to a slow start this year, 2-8 on the season. This was a team that went to the quarterfinals last year, lost to Clinch County. But we talked about the tough region they're in with Taylor County, Central Talbotton, Marion County, just some good quality basketball in Class 2A Region 6. 6, I believe, yeah. And we got another jump ball. Good effort there by Erica Jassy. Ivaka inbounds it. All the way to Kesey, who's back in the game after getting a little bit of foul trouble. There's Clark Yvonne for a three-pointer. And at this point, there is no question who the Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands player of the game is going to be. Clark Yvonne having just a phenomenal game. She's got at least 20 points. I have not kept track of the official stats, as it's Cam Cleveland. She's had at least 3 threes in this game. Couple assists. She's got a couple of steals. Just what an outstanding effort. Shot is off. Kesey and Beecher fighting for it, and That's going to stay right here with Chatko. Bounce pass inside. And out of bounds. So after the Border Wars, Chatko is going to take on Central Talbotton on January the 4th. That's going to be in Talbotton, Georgia. Yeah, good shot by number 4, Kamaya Brown. Back over, long two-pointer off the front of the iron, no good by Henderson. We're going to get a foul. That's surprised that was not called a jump ball. But that's going to be a foul on Stella Henderson. Only the second team foul for Lee Scott. Right. Back over to that near side, Beecher. Near side, Brown, stolen. And it's a 2-on-none fast break. Cam Cleveland up and in. Transition bucket for Lee Scott. Creating instant points. 20-point lead for Lee Scott. And now we got some subs. Kennedy Gilbert coming into the game for Lee Scott. Trying to push their record to 9-8 on the season. After the Border Wars, they are hosting the Lynette Lady Panthers on January the 4th. Tell you, welcome to the AHSAA. We're going to get to see all these matchups that everybody has wanted to see. And the good thing about being in the AHSAA, it really cuts on the travel time for all the schools that are made that transition. Cam Cleveland, bounce pass inside, and a foul on Sutton. Sutton Lewis is going to go to the line for 2. I mean, you talk about Lee Scott playing in Auburn, and not for every sport, but they'll get to play Lochapoka, Notasulga, Lynette. I mean, they're going to play a lot of close schools that they're used to playing. It's Clark Yvott over to Sutton. Long three-point attempt by Stella Henderson, no good. That is going to be rebounded by Letitia Wright. Wright, no good. Rebounded by Sutton, the 8th grader on the team. And that is going to be up and in by Sutton Lewis. And it's back to a 22-point lead for Lee Scott. Coming up next, we got the Chatco Panthers and the Lee Scott Warriors. The boys' teams are going to be facing off against each other here in the Border Wars. First day of the Border Wars. As Sutton Lewis, another transition bucket for Lee Scott. As they get ready for Terrell Academy tomorrow, a school in the GIAA. So we got teams from Alabama, teams from Georgia. Some of them are facing off against each other. Good pass, Cam Cleveland. Back over to Cleveland. Cleveland fires a 3. Back of the iron, no good. Rebounded by Sutton Lewis. And Lewis off the glass and in, and she's got 8 points. We got ourselves a timeout. 3:32 left to go here in the first game of the Border Wars. It's been all Lee Scott, 58-32 against Chatco, as we'll be back on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And we are back. The shot by Kamaya Brown. There's a three-pointer, no good. That's rebounded by Peyton Lakeman, who just checked into the game. And here comes Chaco with a steal and a fast break. Little Euro step by Michaela Clark, and she'll get fouled. Clark's going to go to the line for two. And she misses the first. Got some subs coming in. Kamei Jackson comes into the game. Brown makes one of two. It's 58-35. And that is stolen by Beecher. And she puts it up and in. Little transition offense for Chaco. In the full court press. Oh, and she missed the layup. But that's going to be another turnover by Wright. Puts up a shot, and that's going to be a traveling violation by Michaela Clark. It was off the glass. Looked like it was a good play, but just too many steps. And another steal. Good play, picking the pocket, and going up and in is Letitia Wright. Good job cleaning up the glass. Another transition bucket. But here with 2 minutes left to go, Chaco in a little bit of a run here, kind of making it interesting. And I think that Lee Scott needs to just try to slow things down, because Chaco going on a little bit of a run, and Coach Harrison wastes no time. She's going to bring her two top scorers back in the game. Kesey and Yvette are coming back into the game. It looked like Coach Harrison was going to unload the bench, but with Chaco going on a little bit of a run here, with 2 minutes to go, they have cut it to 19. They were down by 32, and they've been on a little bit of a run here to cut it to 19. And she misses both. And that's going to be a foul on Beecher. You know, when you're up by 32, you want to try to reserve some minutes for your starters. Put some players into the game that don't necessarily see a whole lot of playing time, but this Chaco team, they're not quitting. They got a little fight in them. They were able to get some turnovers off the full court press. Cut it to 19. Yvette looking for the screen. Oh, that was blocked. What a block by Kamei Jackson. Here comes Chaco. Jackson puts up a shot. No good. That's going to be rebounded by Kesey. Kesey going to slow it down. And that's going to be a backcourt violation. Doesn't the refs are going to talk this one over. I'll give us an opportunity to take a look at the upcoming schedule as Lee Scott does get the ball back. First region game will be January the 14th as they will take on Dadeville. Then they're also going to take on Beulah on the 21st. But you know we've got the games against Glenwood penciled in the schedule. And I'll take a look at that in just a minute as Ellie Kesey puts it up. We do know they'll play Glenwood on January the 27th. As we were part of all 5 games for the Glenwood girls and Lee Scott girls on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. As Ellie Kesey puts up a shot with 30 seconds left to go. And that game against Glenwood on January the 27th will be at Lee Scott. Kesey misses the first. And Kesey makes them both, or makes the 1 and 2. We're going to get Stella Henderson checking into the game for Lee Scott, leading 61-39 here in the first game of the Border Wars. We'll have the Chaco boys and the Lee Scott boys coming up next. And that is going to be stolen by Sydney Dunlap. And here comes Lee Scott all the way alone, off the rack, no good, gets her own rebound and puts it up is Peyton Lakeman. And Chaco can try to run out the clock or hold for the final shot. Oh, what a move, but that does not go. And Lee Scott ends up winning the first game here in the Border Wars, 63-39, as we're going to go ahead and take a break, but when we come back, we've got the Lee Scott boys and the Chaco boys coming up next here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's the 2024 Border Wars, hosted by Glenwood.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile. We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to Game 2 of the Border Wars, as we've got a fantastic matchup between the Chatco Panthers and the Lee Scott Academy Warriors here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. If you missed it earlier in the first game, the Lee Scott girls ended up defeating the Chatco girls 63-38. The Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands player of the game was Clark Yvette. I'm going to say Yvette. I talked to her mother. I think it's Yvette. Trying to make sure to get that name right. But we got Lee Scott coming in with a 16-1 record in their debut in the AHSAA. Their only loss was to Montgomery Academy, which is a 3A public school, a 3A school in the 3A. And Chatco with a 5-5 record. And here are your starters for the Chatco Panthers: Malachi Lyles and Christian Brown, the former Pacelli Vikings; Champ Simpson, the former Carver Tiger; Azazion Purnell and Javen Tullis. Champ Simpson, by the way, is the leading scorer for Chatco, averaging 24 points a game. As getting ready to tip it is Parker Wright. Other starters: Grayson Haley, Hayden Harper, Parks Myers, and Barrett Cook. And we are underway here. It is Chatco. It is the defending AISA champions, Lee Scott Academy. And slicing the defense is Grayson Haley. Lee Scott with an early 2-0 lead. The leading scorer for Lee Scott is Hayden Harper, as Lee Scott defeated Bessemer Academy in the championship last year. And that jumper rattles in and out, but it's a rebound up and in by Javen Tullis. And it's quickly 2-2. Haley slicing the defense, and it's blocked. Here comes Chatco. 3-on-2. Jumper slices it in, and Javen Tullis with 4 points. Here comes Hayden Harper, ties it up. Little sweet move, splitting the defenders. Nice spin move, Euro step. Drawing the foul is Champ Simpson, and he's going to go to the line for 2. Champ Simpson, the leading scorer for Chatco with 24 points a game. Was part of that Carver team that went to the Final Four last year. By the way, Thrift Behringer, Coach Corey Black will be on the call for Carver Sandy Creek in the Lemon Street Classic up in Marietta, Georgia. And Simpson makes them both. Chatco has got the 2-point lead. Haley trying to get it to Parks Myers. And we got a foul on the Panthers. That does tie the game. And going to the line will be Parks Myers to try to give Lee Scott the lead. As Chatco, led by their coach, Sean Glenn. And the head coach for Lee Scott is the AD, Coach William Johnson. Had a chance to see Lee Scott last year. Actually, the last couple years they've been a part of this Border Wars. There's a 3-pointer that is good by Champ Simpson. And Chatco with a 2-point lead. Simpson with 5 points. Slicing the defense is Grayson Haley. Here comes Chatco. And drawing the foul. Champ Simpson is going to, actually it was not a shooting foul. So Julius Harris will inbounds it. Over to Simpson. Simpson passes, thought about the three. Tullis back out, three-pointer. Christian Brown, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Parks Myers. There's Hayden Harper, and he's got 4 points. And that ties the game at 9. Both teams just going back and forth, trading buckets. Harris over to Simpson, Champ Simpson, and the foul on Lee Scott. And that foul's going to be on the floor. And that's going to be a traveling violation on Christian Brown. Here comes Hayden Harper, the leading scorer. And that is stolen. And all the way to the rack, count the bucket. As Sean Purnell. As we got a timeout on the floor. As we have got just an incredible game for you here in Game 2 of the Border Wars. As this broadcast is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, Gordy Eye Care, Chattahoochee Valley Community College, Zaxby's, Pepsi, State Farm, Carroll Purdue, Master Wall Incorporated, Alex Quinney All-State Agency. Don't forget, after this game, we will have the Deerfield-Windsor girls out of Albany, Georgia. Went to the GIAA Championship, lost to Lakeview Academy at Columbus State. Taking on the Valley Lady Rams, who are a 5A school in Alabama, lost in the first round last year. In the 5A AHSAA state playoffs. As that is a miss by Purnell. Here comes Harper. Hayden Harper. Oh, what a sweet move by Hayden Harper. Just a left-handed finger roll. It's hard to defend. Hayden Harper with that championship experience last year. As we witnessed Lee Scott Academy a couple of times on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, including the first game of the Border Wars last year against Calvary Christian. Swinging it around. Here's Christian Brown driving the baseline. Kicks it out. Three-pointer, long three-pointer, missed by Julian Harris. Chaco gets the rebound back. Champ Simpson, and that's short. Grayson Haley with the rebound. Haley splits the defenders. Got it stolen. Chaco likes to go fast. Simpson, no good. That was rebounded by Tullis. Lee Scott thought about the three. Pulls it out. Harper over to Myers. Myers, top of the key. Back out to Hayden Harper. Harper, top of the key to Watley. Harper, corner three. No good. And then just tipped out to Hayden Harper. Oh, he almost got it. Oh, and he does get it in. A good shot by Gord Zellner. So that's a familiar last name. Looks like he might have a sister on the Lee Scott girls team. Or cousin. I'm not going to make assumptions and say it's a sibling. It could be a cousin. Christian Brown draws the foul. And the former quarterback for the Pacelli Vikings, who's making an impact for Coach Glenn, Coach Johnson, and the Chatco Panthers, 5-5 on the season, will take on they'll take on Glenwood tomorrow. Christian Brown will go to the line. And he makes the first. It's been a back and forth game. bunch of ties, a bunch of lead changes. Brown ties it up. Here comes Hayden Harper, takes it across the timeline. Harper looking for a screen, passes it inside. That's back-to-back buckets for Gord Zellner. Back to a 2-point lead for Lee Scott. Tullis over to Simpson. Simpson back to Tullis, top of the key. Brown, Tullis. Over to Malachi Lyles. Christian Brown, front of the iron, no good. Chasing down that rebound. Good job saving it. That was Purnell with the save. Tullis. Simpson. Back to Tullis for three. No good. Lee Scott comes up with a rebound. Every possession is crucial when you got two teams that just like to play fast. Harper thought about the three. Hayden Harper. Pull-up jumper is good for three. Hayden Harper gives Lee Scott the largest lead of the game. Thought about the corner three, driving the baseline, and it rattles in and out. Zellner gets the rebound, and we're going to get a foul on Chatko. And get ready to inbounds. It is Chapman Harris. So we saw Lee Scott last season 4 times against Calvary in the Border Wars. We did the home and home against Glenwood. Also did the championship at Macon East. So very familiar with this Lee Scott Academy team. And what a shot slice in the defense, and that is Barrett Cook. And the largest lead for Lee Scott. Here comes Tullis, the 6-foot junior. Champ Simpson. Back out to Lyles. Tullis thought about the three. Christian Brown driving the lane. We're going to get an offensive foul on Christian Brown. Got quite a few fans from Lee Scott and Chatko making the trip here to Glenwood. And we appreciate everybody watching us on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Watley. Bounce pass to Lyles. Back over to Cook. Top of the key. Lyles. Three-pointer. No good. That was Watley. Three-pointer. It's going to go back to Chatko. The Chattahoochee County Panthers, who lost in the first round of the GHSA state playoffs to the eventual champion, Green Forest. They were the 4th seed in a very tough region that included Manchester that lost to Green Forest in the championship. You know, teams like Macon County, they had a tough schedule. That is stolen by Christian Brown. And they'll have a tough region game on January the 4th. Malachi Lyles, no good. Rebounded. Oh, he almost traveled. That was Parker Wright. Three-pointer, no good. Good offensive rebound and pull-up jumper by Barrett Cook. And it's a 9-point lead as Chatko can try to get the final shot here in the first quarter. Brown over to Lyles. Back out to Tullis. Got to shoot it. Christian Brown, Champ Simpson, three-pointer! Got it at the buzzer! Champ Simpson. He's got 10 points. And after one, Lee Scott leads Chatko 22-16 as we'll be back with the second quarter here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing Sorry. The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Georgia Alabama.
Start of the second quarter. This is game 2 here in the Border Wars. Right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Coming up, we've got Valley and Deerfield-Windsor girls and boys. And then after that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to have a break, but Northside Methodist is taking on Terrell Academy at 2. We'll be back on the air for Morgan County Calvary. We might take another break for Tuscaloosa Academy Beulah, but we'll definitely be doing the Notre Dame Tuscaloosa Academy game. We definitely want to do that game. That's going to be just a fantastic game. Notre Dame Academy, a team out of Marietta. Lee Scott with the turnover, and then another turnover by Chaco. Oh, they're just trading turnovers here. Grayson Haley. Back out to Cook. Thought about the 3. That was Parks Myers. Oh, Parker, right. Oh, Chapman Harris. Back out to Harper. No shot clock in Alabama. Remember that. And there's a 3-point attempt, no good by Barrett Cook. Trying to get, oh, what a play by Champ Simpson. Simpson trying to hit it off the defender, and Chaco gets the ball back. Champ Simpson is the leading scorer for Chaco with 10 points. Back over to Brown. Lyles. Tullis thought about the 3. Inside the corner. Christian Brown back to Tullis, top of the key. Lyles swings it around. Champ Simpson driving the baseline. Puts up a shot. Gets his own rebound. Champ Simpson goes up and in, and the foul. Champ Simpson will not be denied, and he will have an opportunity for the 3-point play. That is just physicality, getting his own rebound and going up for the shot. Champ Simpson, the former Carver Tiger, having an impact in this game. He's had an impact on the season, averaging 24 points a game. And I've had an opportunity to see Champ Simpson. We live streamed a bunch of Carver Tiger games last year. He was also part of the CB Hoops Perfect Practice Fall League. I mean, he is just an outstanding player. I mean, he is just one of those players that can take over a game. Got great work ethic. And another player, Hayden Harper, answers with a 3 of his own. Another fundamentally sound player with championship experience, Hayden Harper, and it's back to a 6-point lead for Lee Scott. Christian Brown. Over to Lyles. Lyles. Tullis, back to Brown. Thought about the 3. Brown triple teamed. Back out to Malachi Lyles. No good. And here comes Lee Scott, Hayden Harper. Harper, he is just an efficient player. Knows how to draw fouls. Hayden Harper, the junior. Did not get a chance to see him in the championship game against Glenwood at Macon East. He was injured. Talked to him after the game and wished him well. I know he was very excited that we were there. And won a championship in the final year of the AISA. And Glenwood and Lee Scott, I tell you, that is going to be a battle in the new area along with Dadeville and Beulah. Cannot wait for that. As Harper misses both. 2 rare misses for Hayden Harper. Back out to Simpson. Champ Simpson with 13 points. Brown. Three-pointer is good by Gavin Patterson. And it's a 3-point Lee Scott lead. Harper. Back over to Sutton. Harper at the logo. Chaco with some defense here. Hayden Harper. Inside. Puts up a shot, no good. And what a rebound by Zamarian Wright. Back out to Gavin Patterson. Over to Brown. Patterson. Christian Brown, double teams. Swings it over to Champ Simpson. Simpson, what a move by Champ Simpson. And it's a 1-point Lee Scott lead. He's got 15 points. Hayden Harper. That's going to be a traveling violation on Lee Scott. Chaco's got a chance to take the lead. We've got number 20, Cord Zellner, checking into the game for the Lee Scott Academy Warriors. Simpson, driving the lane, pull-up jumper, no good. And that's going to go back to Lee Scott. It's Christian Brown trying to get the rebound. And then Chapman Harris coming into the game. That was a fleeting pass by Hayden Harper. Harper with a jumper. Front of the iron, no good. It's going to go back to the Panthers. Back over to Brown. Back to Lyles. Patterson. Back to Simpson. Lyles with it. Splits the defenders. Champ Simpson thought about the three. Oh, he could have pulled it from there. Simpson. Champ Simpson draws the foul. Chaco's got a chance to take the lead here, down by 1. 3:51 left to go here until the half. And Simpson makes the first. He's got 16 points. That ties the game at 25. Simpson makes them both. 17 points for Champ Simpson. Oh, and he lost it. Here comes Simpson on the steal. Champ Simpson all the way up and in. And Chaco with a 3-point lead. Here comes Harper. Harper trying to slow it down a little bit. Just working the ball. Hayden Harper. Layup is a little too much mustard on it. And it goes to Zamrin Wright. Back over to Lyles. Top of the key, Lyles. Nice pass inside, but that's going to be out of bounds as Zamrin Wright lost it. It's going to go back to Lee Scott. Lee Scott Academy, the defending AISA state champions, their first year in the AHSAA. Chatco out of the GHSA Division II, Class 1A. And that is off the mark. Malachi Lyles with the rebound. Over to Brown. A little fake by Christian Brown. He pulls up a three. Largest lead of the game for Chatco. Christian Brown with the pull-up three. Back over to Harper. Lee Scott in a little bit of a trouble, down by 6. And Hayden Harper, when you need a big bucket, just go to Hayden Harper. He knows where to be, right place, right time. and draws the foul, and Lee Scott really needed that one to get back into this game. Hayden Harper to the line, the junior, who was their top player on the championship team last season, defeated Bessemer Academy in the championship game. And I got a feeling, he's missed the last 3 foul shots. As Champ Simpson is good. Another big bucket for Champ Simpson. He's got 19 points. Here's Hayden Harper. We got a traveling violation that was on Chapman Harris. Chaco plays Glenwood tomorrow. How exciting is that matchup going to be? Noah Shelton will be on the call for that one. Ellington. Back over to Champ Simpson. Simpson, they're swinging it around. Ellington, three-pointer is good! Largest lead of the game for the Panthers. Good assist by Champ Simpson. Back out to Harper. Swings it out to Hayden Harper. Inside, back to Harper. Harper for 3. And he hits it. Hayden Harper with a big bucket. Lee Scott has cut it to 6. Hayden Harper and Champ Simpson are putting on a show in this game. They are the leading scorers. As I think Chaco just wants to try to hold for the final shot. Back out. Ellington, three-pointer. No good by Patterson. And now Lee Scott's got a chance for the final shot. Down by 6. Here's Hayden Harper. Swings it over to Lyles. Or Harris. Lost it. Stolen by Patterson. Up and in by Zamrin Wright. Three seconds. Three-pointer, no good, and we're going to the half. Chaco leading Lee Scott Academy 38-30. Just an exciting contest, a back and forth from both teams. Leading scorer for Chaco is Champ Simpson with 19 points, and Hayden Harper, leading scorer for Lee Scott. We'll be back. It's halftime here, Game 2 of the Border Wars on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile. We're Hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
We are at the half. Chatco leads Lee Scott 38-30. The leading scorer, Champ Simpson, with 19 points. For Lee Scott, Hayden Harper leads with 17 points. This has been a back-and-forth game, but Chatco was able to pull away in that second quarter. Coming up, we've got the Deerfield-Windsor Lady Knights taking on the Valley Lady Rams. Deerfield-Windsor, who was at Columbus State in the GIAA State Championship game last season, fell to Lakeview Academy. They're taking on the Valley Lady Rams, the AHSAA school out of 5A in Valley, Alabama. Deerfield-Windsor out of Albany. We'll have the girls' game and the boys' game, and we will end the broadcast. And then we will pick it back up for Calvary Christian and Morgan County. And then we'll also have Tuscaloosa Academy and Notre Dame Academy. And then the nightcap, Marion County versus Glenwood. It's coming up later tonight. Georgia Alabama Sports Live. You can catch all the action here. We have another basketball game as Thrift Behringer, Coach Corey Black are going to be up in Marietta for the Lemon Street Classic, the rematch of the Final Four 3A matchup last year. Sandy Creek and Carver, the Carver Tigers, undefeated so far on the season. And by the way, a former Carver Tiger having a fantastic game in this matchup with Champ Simpson with 19 points. We're about a minute away from the start of the second half. As you see the team from Deerfield-Windsor warming up, getting ready for the next game. We wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as this is the third year that we have done Border Wars. 2 years ago, I was doing it with Thrift Behringer off his Facebook page. Last season, it was a tournament-style format. Glenwood won both the boys and girls. Glenwood ended up defeating Deerfield-Windsor on the boys' side, and the girls ended up defeating Lee Scott Academy on the girls' side. As Lee Scott will get the basketball to start the second half, trailing by 8. Getting ready to inbounds it is Grayson Haley. And now Hayden Harper. Back over to Haley. Cook. Back over to Hayden Harper with 17 points. Bounce pass over to Cook. Driving the lane is Haley, up and in. And Lee Scott needed that bucket. Chaco's going fast. They're going down the court. Comes over to Christian Brown. Back over to Tullis. Simpson, leading scorer for Chaco. Nice crossover move, Simpson. That's going to be a backcourt violation on Chaco. That's what Lee Scott wants to try to do. Down by 8 at the half. Just come on out fast in the second half to try to cut into this lead. Just the way these two teams play, I got a feeling this is going to go down to the wire. Lee Scott having a fantastic year, 16-1. Chaco 5-5. They've played some tough opponents like Brookstone. And that's Hayden Harper. That's his 20th point. That cuts it to 3. What a game Hayden Harper has had. 20 points. Purnell, three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Harper. Here comes Hayden Harper. He could tie it with a 3. Three-pointer, Cotton, or Barrett Cook, no good. And that's going to be rebounded by Harris. Back out to Purnell. Brown slicing the defense. Brown goes to the line. Christian Brown, the former Pacelli quarterback, is going to go to the line for 2. Also part of that Pacelli team that won the GIAA championship under the leadership of head coach Corey Black, who is now a broadcasting colleague of ours on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Looking forward to hearing him and Thrift on the call for Sandy Creek and Carver later this afternoon. Haley over to Parks Myers. Back out to Myers, top of the key. Swings it over to Cook. Harper inside to Parker Wright. Jumper no good. Wright gets his own rebound. Parks Myers. Myers, good defense by Davari Brown, and here comes Champ Simpson. Simpson, spin move, puts up a shot, and he gets it. Count the bucket. Champ Simpson with 21 points. What a game by Champ Simpson. I'm just going to come out and say we have seen some historic games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Just the back and forth between Champ Simpson and Hayden Harper is going to go down as a classic. Myers. Harper, bounce pass inside to Haley. Back out to Hayden Harper for three, and he hits it. Hayden Harper cuts it to three. He's got 23 points. Harper with 23, Champ Simpson with 21. What a showcase from these two talented players. Christian Brown. Brown gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. Yeah, Christian Brown's going to the line. Trying to get some clarity on that. It is 41-38. Chatco on top. 5-5 on the season. Chatco will face Glenwood tomorrow in day 2 of the Border Wars. Cannot wait for that matchup. Christian Brown misses the second. Almost got the offensive rebound. What a valiant effort. Here comes Hayden Harper. Harper's just going to take it himself, slices the defense, and draws the foul. He almost had it go in. We're starting to witness two players that can take over a game by themselves. Just an incredible performance by both Hayden Harper and Champ Simpson. Harper makes the first. It's now a 3-point Chatco lead. And Harper's got 24 points. And make that 25. It's a 2-point Chatco lead. Simpson, top of the key. Simpson cutting the defense, driving the lane, puts it up and in. Champ Simpson, he's got 23. Back to a 4-point lead for Chatco. Cook. Zachary into the game. Harper lost it. Good turnover by Chatco. Here's a 3-on-2. Over to Harris. Harris travels. .417 left to go here in the third. The Chatco Panthers with a 4-point lead over the defending AISA champions from last season. And falling on the floor and driving the lane was Grayson Haley. Gets a high five from his teammate, Hayden Harper. And Haley is going to go to the line for two. Appreciate Coach Dusty Perdue and Coach Tim Fanning for opening up the gymnasium, as Glenwood has been a fantastic host, as they always have throughout the years. We appreciate to be part of the Border Wars, our third season covering the Border Wars. Second season on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. As Haley makes them both. It is now a 2-point Chatco lead. Malachi Lyles. Top of the key to Simpson. Thought about the three. Simpson swings it over to Harris. Baseline. Back over to Lyles. No good. Trying to fight for that rebound. It's going to go back to Lee Scott with a chance to take the lead or tie it. Well, that 8-point lead by Chatco has evaporated. Lee Scott making the adjustments at halftime to get back into this game. Harper, nice pass, good move, but it looks like there was a foul on the floor. Count the bucket, and what a shot by Brooks Zachary to tie the game. Just what an incredible move underneath the basket. Lee Scott can regain the lead here, and they do. It is now 45-44. Simpson. Champ Simpson, pull-up jumper, front of the iron, no good. That's going to be rebounded by Lee Scott. What a great job coming up with it, Grayson Haley. Here comes Harper. Harper, the leading scorer with 25 points. Lee Scott with a 1-point lead. Tullis, top of the key, Jaden Tullis backs it out. Back over to Simpson, looking for the screen. Champ Simpson passes it inside. Oh, what a pass to Jaden Tullis. Chaco regains the lead. We knew this was going to be a back-and-forth game. Back out to Haley. Nice pass down the lane. Could not control it, but driving the lane puts up a shot and a good rebound by Zamrin Wright. Here comes Chaco. 2-on-1, fast break. Malachi Lyles up and in. Chaco with a 3-point lead. Back out to Watley. Haley. Good swarming defense by the Panthers. Looking for the screen. Harper passes to Haley for three, no good. Rebounded by Champ Simpson. Simpson over to Lyles. Malachi Lyles going to reset it. Over to Simpson. Nice move, Euro step. Champ Simpson could not finish. And what defense by Chaco to force the turnover. To get it back with 1:15 left to go. Spin move, back out. Lyles. Lyles, nice crossover move off the glass. It rattles in and out, and it's going to be rebounded by Chapman Harris. Here comes Lee Scott down by 3. Harris puts up a jumper and cuts the lead to 1. Timeout Chaco. 54 seconds left to go here in the third. The Chaco Panthers lead Lee Scott 48-47. Game 2 of the Border Wars on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
All right, welcome back here to Glenwood School here in the Border Wars. What a steal by Hayden Harper. Oh, my. Harper with the quickness was able to get that steal. And there's a three-pointer in the corner. No good. Oh, what effort. Getting it, pulling up, just trying to do everything he can to try to get the possession. That's going to be a foul on Chatko with 29 seconds left to go here in the third. Harper inbounds it, swings it over. Chapman Harris now with it. Top of the key, over to Lyles. Long three-pointer, rattles in and out by Watley, and here comes Chatko with the rebound. Driving the lane, Purnell lost it. Oh, and the ref did get in the way of that. Not sure what the call is going to be. That would have been a saved ball by Malachi Lyles. Unfortunately, the ref did get in the way. 2 seconds left to go. Who are they going to give this ball to? They're going to give it to Chatko. Not a whole lot of time on the clock. The ref is pointing Chatko's way. Chatko leads 48-47. You could just hear the intensity from both fans in this crowd. Lee Scott brought a bunch of fans on the opposite side of where we are. And it's going to be Lee Scott ball. The refs had to talk it over. Got maybe enough time for a catch and shoot. Down by one. That might have been a huge possession. Getting ready to inbounds it is Wyatt Watley. Over to Harper. Harper, three-pointer. Good! Wow! What a shot by Hayden Harper. And folks, he's got 28 points. Wow. Lee Scott after three leads Chatko 50-48. We'll be back with the start of the fourth quarter as you're watching the Border Wars here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
All right, welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got we could possibly have an instant classic here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. It's been the Hayden Harper and Champ Simpson show. Hayden Harper with 28 points. Champ Simpson with 23. Lee Scott leads Chatko 50-48. Chatko with the ball. Malachi Lyles, the former Pacelli Viking, takes it across the timeline. Over to Tullis. Swings it over. Lyles in the corner. Back out to Lyles. Champ Simpson taking a little bit of a breather. He will come into the next dead ball. Remember, no shot clock in Alabama. Nice move. Trying to get some room in the lane. Here's Malachi Lyles, spin move. Trying to reset it to Purnell. Purnell driving the lane, goes up, no good. Big rebound by Grayson Haley. And a foul on Chatko. And Champ Simpson going to come back into the game. Almost took about a minute off the clock. Chatko needs a stop. Harper, Hayden Harper. And he got fouled. Hayden Harper, the way he plays, it's like shooting him out of a cannon. He will try to just drive to the basket, but he is an absolute playmaker. As there's a three-pointer, no good. Trying to get the rebound was Gavin Patterson. And the Coach Glenn wants a timeout. 50-48 with 6:53 left to go. Chaco led by 8 points at the half. But Lee Scott came all the way back, led by Hayden Harper's 28 points, including a three-pointer at the buzzer to end the third. And that's where we stand, 50-48. Lee Scott Academy 16-1 on the season. Chatco 5-5. Chaco will play Glenwood tomorrow in Game 2 of the Border Wars. Lee Scott will take on Terrell Academy out of Dawson, Georgia. Some upcoming games as Chatco will be traveling to Talbotton to take on Central Talbotton. We've seen Central Talbotton on Georgia Alabama Sports Live against Kendrick, Coach Oglesby over there. I'm sure he's watching this game. Chaco with the ball. Got another, I think that's another foul. That'll be the first team foul on Lee Scott. Chaco already with 2 team fouls. Picked up 2 quick early fouls here in the fourth quarter. As Malachi Lyles will inbounds it for Chaco. Down by 2. Lee Scott with a full court press. Lyles over to Brown. Christian Brown trying to reset it. Being guarded by Myers. Brown, nice bounce pass inside, no good. Rebounded by Christian Brown, and he resets it. Big offensive rebound by Chaco. Brown driving the baseline. And that's going to be a foul on Lee Scott. That'll be the second team foul. Got William Lyles checking back into the game for the Warriors. Christian Brown will inbounds it. Inside, Simpson. Champ Simpson, fadeaway jumper is no good. And you're starting to see Lee Scott just trying to adjust defensively. Thought about the 3. That was Barrett Cook. Can't find any open lane. Lyles up and in. That is just fundamentals by Chapman Harris. It's a 4-point lead for Lee Scott. And that's a costly turnover for Chaco. We got Jaquan Ellington checking back into the game. As we see the Valley Lady Rams entering the building. They're going to be next, taking on Deerfield-Windsor. Lyles, top of the key. Lyles, back over to Haley. Haley, off the glass and in. 7-0 run for Lee Scott. Oh, count the bucket. What a shot by Javen Tullis. And Tullis is going to go to the line for the three-point play. Tullis makes the N1. Chaco needs to get a stop here. Harper, 28 points. Hayden Harper passes it to Haley. Haley driving the lane, up and in. Big bucket for Lee Scott. They are up by 5. Simpson, up and in. Chaco really needed that bucket. Champ Simpson with 25 points. Here's Cook. Harper. Cook being guarded. Oh, nice defense by Purnell and forces a turnover. That was huge. Champ Simpson, shot up and good. And Chaco cuts the lead to 1. That's 27 points for Champ Simpson. Oh, what a give and go to Hayden Harper. Just a little too much on it here. Simpson, oh, he almost got a dunk. Oh, this place would have gone nuts. Oh, that could have brought the house down. Oh, this has been some high-flying action in this game. Refs are talking it over. I wonder what the discussion's going to be here. Is that a technical foul? The refs are trying to talk it over to see if that might have been a technical foul for hanging on the rim. And if it is, this is a huge call because Lee Scott has a 1-point lead. And it's going to be a technical foul. Champ Simpson was hanging on the rim. Hayden Harper, who's got 28 points, is going to shoot this technical. And it's a 2-point Lee Scott lead. And he misses the second. But Lee Scott with a 2-point lead and the ball. With 4:19 left to go. Here in this contest. Game 2 of the Border Wars. Day 1. Are we calling a timeout? Did they call? Yes, Coach Johnson called a timeout. We'll take one too. Don't go anywhere. We've got a 2-point lead by Lee Scott Academy as we'll be back here on the Border Wars on Georgia Alabama Sports.
Georgia Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without businesses like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice refreshing sorry? The best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Georgia Alabama.
Back here at Glenwood. 4:19 left to go. Lee Scott leading Chatco 57-55. Hayden Harper, the leading scorer for Lee Scott with 28 points. Leading scorer for Chatco is Champ Simpson with 27. And Harper with it. Hayden Harper. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Hayden Harper. And he's wondering, why call that there? I mean, it's one of those calls. It could have gone either way. But that could be huge because now Chatco with the ball down by 2. We were wondering how Chatco was going to adjust to not having a shot clock in Alabama. Tullis. Over to Purnell. Back out to Simpson, top of the key. Purnell thought about the 3. Purnell Spin move. Simpson. Thought about it. Back over to Brown. Ellington. Over to Purnell. Ellington. Tullis. Back to Brown. Swings it over to Purnell. Just got to take their time with this possession. They're just going to slow this one down. Simpson driving, splitting the defenders, puts up a shot, goes in. Wow, what a shot by Champ Simpson. 29 points, it ties the game. And a steal. All the way, and Chatco takes the lead. Jaquan Ellington, it's now 59-57. Top of the key, Parker right. Harper. Back out to Haley. That's going to be a foul. That'll be a foul on Chatco, their fourth team foul. One more foul, they'll be in the bonus. Parks Myers checks back into the game. Chatco quickly on a 4-0 run, lead it by 2. Here comes Harper, who's got 28 points. Back out, three-pointer, no good. And what a shot by Barrett Cook ties the game. Barrett Cook, big offensive rebound to tie the game. 2:15 left to go. Don't go anywhere, folks. We are tied at 59 apiece, rather. Here between Lee Scott and Chatco, game 2 of the Border Wars on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back here to Glenwood. We're tied at 59. Chatco, Lee Scott Academy. Chatco with the ball. Christian Brown driving the lane. Fadeaway jumper! That's going to be a bucket for Christian Brown. And the foul. And Brown going the line for the three-point play. What a huge bucket by Christian Brown, driving the baseline and the fadeaway jumper. Every possession matters from here on out. This would be really just a fantastic game between both outstanding teams. As Brown makes the and one. And we got ourselves a timeout. We're going to keep this in here. Coming up next, we got the Deerfield-Windsor girls and the Valley girls. And then we've got the Valley boys taking on Deerfield-Windsor boys here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Then we're going to take a little bit of a break. And then Brandon Schwobel will be joining me approximately 3:45 for Calvary Christian Morgan County. And then we were also going to have Tuscaloosa Academy and Notre Dame Academy, and then Glenwood Marion County. That is coming up here on the Border Wars on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. 2 minutes left to go in this game. What a fantastic game. 3-point lead for Chaco. And Lee Scott with the ball. Over to Haley. Harper. Cook. Good swarming defense by Chaco. Back out to Hayden Harper. Passes in the corner to Cook. Harper at the logo. Haley with it. Swings it back over to Harper. Cook. Inside. Got to get it inside over to Haley. And that's going to be a backcourt violation on Lee Scott. I thought Chaco might have tipped it, but just some miscommunication. A minute was taken off the clock. And now Chaco with a 3-point lead, and they have the ball, but not before Coach Glenn is going to call a timeout with 1:09 left to go. As we'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Chaco up by 3.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. New full-size GMC Sierras discounted up to $12,500 off. GMC Terrains with a roomy cabin and pro safety discounted $6,500 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
All right, welcome back. Minute 9 left to go. Chaco with the ball. When does Lee Scott start playing the foul game? Usually you play it a little bit earlier in Alabama with no shot clock. Oh, I'm almost forced a turnover there. And that's going to be a foul. Free throws are coming up for Chaco. Going to the line is Javen Tullis, the 6-foot junior. Chaco 5-5 on the season. They've played some teams familiar to our area, including Brookstone, Columbus, Shaw. Tullis makes the first shot. It's a 4-point lead for Chaco. And he misses. Lee Scott down by 4. Hayden Harper, who's got 28. Back over to Harris. Harper. Back out. Harper. Three-pointer. No good. And what a job batting it back out to Hayden Harper. Goes up and in. A huge shot by Hayden Harper. He's got 30. And Lee Scott with 34 seconds left to go here in this game. Trail by 2. As we're going to go ahead and keep it here. As Lee Scott will take on Terrell Academy tomorrow in the Border Wars. And Chaco is going to be taking on Glenwood. That will be the final game of the Border Wars here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Just what a fantastic effort from both teams today. Hayden Harper with 30, Champ Simpson with 29. Just an incredible performance. We got Valley and Deerfield-Windsor coming up next, as they are anticipating taking the court. Chatko with the ball, up by 2. Lee Scott's going to try to foul it. They're already at 16 fouls. Just got to foul quick and hope that they miss. And, almost a turnover. Do they get it? Yes, they do. Hayden Harper with the turnover. They're down by 2. Harper, unbelievable to get that. Three-pointer, no good. Rebounded. Harper, 18 seconds. Hayden Harper, he can hold for the final shot. Looking for the screen. Hayden Harper, bounce pass. Back out to Harper. Harper driving the lane, goes up, no good. Lee Scott with it, three-pointer, no good, and that's the ball game. Chatko escapes with a narrow 2-point win over Lee Scott Academy. Lee Scott had a chance to either tie it or win it with a 3, and what defense by Chatko to pull out the victory. What a game. This was just a fantastic game. Once again, the final score, Chatko 63, Lee Scott 61. We got another fantastic matchup coming up. We got the Deerfield-Windsor girls taking on the Valley girls. That's coming up next here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. The Alex Quinney All-State Good Hands Player of the Game was Champ Simpson. Champ Simpson with 29 points. Congratulations. And we will see you in a little bit here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the ambassador scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.